Hi guys, it's Simon from Tech My Life Video. In this one we're going to look at the setup of iOS 10 or the iPhone 7. So what happens when you first turn it on, what's the setup process like, there's a couple of things that have changed in there. And we're also going to look at some of the packaging changes that have happened with the iPhone 7. We'll look at that later in the video. Let's get to the setup. So first up we need to choose the language. I'm going to choose English. Select your country or region. I'm going to scroll down. Australia's here somewhere, there it is. So after you've entered your password, you want to hit join. It's going to take a few minutes to activate your phone. So here we are with location services. I like to enable location services. It helps out with a lot of apps, maps obviously, things like that. I always turn it on. Totally up to you. I'm going to enable location services. So Touch ID, we'll just go through that very quickly. Continue. It's going to ask me to place my finger on the home button. I'm going to use my thumb to begin with. As you can see, it's filling in those lines, moving my thumb around to different positions, and it's recognizing my thumbprint. Then what you want to do is use the side of your thumb, as it's saying use the side of your thumb, and that way you fill in the blanks around the edge, depending on what different angles you might happen to hit the button at. And basically it fills it all in, complete. That thumb is fine, and we hit continue. Now we're going to put in a passcode. So I've put in my standard passcode, apps and data. So restore from iCloud backup, restore from iTunes backup, set up as a new phone, or move data from Android. Now in this case, I would normally jump straight into restoring from a backup, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to set this up as a new phone for now because I want to run a few tests. If you've been using iPhone, back up your old phone and then you'll just be able to restore straight from a backup. If you're back up to the cloud, you can of course do that as well. So I'm just going to hit set up as a new phone. I'm going to be able to enter my Apple ID and password, so I'll quickly do that. So I've entered my Apple ID and password. It may take a few minutes to set up your Apple ID. So it's jumped into terms and conditions. We don't even actually need to scroll on this one. We can just hit agree and it jumps straight in. Again, it may take a few minutes to set up your Apple ID. Updating iCloud settings. Now we can set up Apple Pay if you've got a credit card that is compatible. In Australia, you've only got the choice of ANZ or American Express. Overseas, a lot more choices. So we'll just go next. We'll leave that for now and we can do set up later in wallet. And it is actually thinking about it. I thought I hadn't hit the button, then it was actually thinking about it. So the iCloud keychain, I can approve it from another device, which is what I will choose to do. So you can set up Siri, you can do that now or you can do it later. I'm going to leave it for now and I'll set it up a bit later on. So we can hit turn on Siri later. If you want to send Apple information, they're basically saying if we can gather information, we can improve what we do. I don't have a problem with them collecting this data. So I'm going to say send to Apple. You don't have to, you can click don't send, but I'm going to say send to Apple. To developers, I'm happy to share information as well. I believe in trying to improve apps, so I'm happy to say share with developers. So meeting the new home button, now this is unique to iPhone 7. You can do getting started or customize later. I'm going to go get started, and basically what happens is as I press this, I'm on 2 at the moment. 1 is a subtler tap, 3 is a more forceful tap. So as I press the button, it feels like it's clicking. It's not actually clicking, it's getting tapped from underneath. But basically you've got 1, 2 or 3 in terms of how forcefully you like to feel that tap. At the moment, I think 3 is the one for me. So I'm going to hit next. Zoom display, you've got standard or zoomed. So if I click choose a view, this is the standard view with the icons. If you hit zoom, it zooms everything in. Now I would prefer standard, so that's the one I'm going to go with. If your vision's not quite so great, you might prefer the zoomed look. And then we hit next. Welcome to iPhone. Get started. Click on that and we're right into the home screen and you're all set to go. You can obviously log into the App Store and install apps from there. Of course, if you've restored from a backup, it should be looking exactly like your old phone. So there you go guys, that is the setup of your iPhone 7. Now we're going to look at the packaging now. And so the thing with the packaging that has changed is the fact that obviously the jet black one comes in a black box, but Basically, the box has actually got bigger. Now, Apple have spoken for many years about their packaging getting smaller, so it's kind of weird this one's got slightly bigger, but there's a bit of a reason for that. So inside the box, we've seen some big changes, and basically I'm surprised Apple didn't mention this at the keynote, because they're usually big on their environmental credentials. So with the 6S, it used to sit in a plastic tray on top, and you used to take the phone out and then this plastic tray out, and everything else was sitting underneath. And again, this is another plastic tray in the bottom of the box. With the iPhone 7, it had the instructions on top of the phone, which is kind of weird, because you generally take that lid off and there's this nice reveal of the phone, whereas now you have the instructions sitting there, so you've got to kind of take them off and put them to the side. The phone actually sits in this little groove cut around this cardboard insert. So this box now is virtually all cardboard, whereas over here you've got a lot of plastic going on. So the changes don't stop there. With the headphones, we used to get them in a plastic container like this, which obviously just literally gets chucked straight in the bin as soon as you take the headphones out. So what they've gone to is a cardboard, basically a wrap that wraps around the headphones, and it also holds the adapter. Pretty simple, can be recycled very simply. And lastly, the charging cable now comes in a cardboard wrap of its own. It's simply wrapped around this piece of cardboard. So basically for Apple, some moves in the right direction. Strange they didn't mention those in the keynote. Hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit informative, not quite as glamorous as some, but I think this is interesting stuff and important stuff that companies are moving away from using plastic where they can. There's already enough components in an iPhone and an electronic process of building those products that if they can cut down in any area, it's a good step in the right direction. Please comment down below, please give the video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel for more videos covering all areas of technology. I'm Simon from TechnoLife Video. We'll see you in the next one. A headphone adapter-y thing.